Okay. Hello, everyone. I'm here with Brett. Brett, may you introduce yourself?
Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Brett. I've been in the draft community for over 10 years now.
And I guess we could start off with that. How do you think draft has evolved over your decade long of playing, from the very beginning to like modern times?
Yeah, so I started off back in the X and Y era, funny enough. So I've been around through the majority of it, but I still have that nostalgia factor for Orash Gen 6. That's kind of one of my particular niches. But overall, I've the evolution of the metagame has been extremely interesting. Gen 6, there were a few centralizing strategies that kind of took over. And in 7 and 8, it almost felt like the tiers became a little more passive. And then in Gen 9, it became overly offensive. But I think that every meta and every gen kind of has its merits. And this is just one in particular that I enjoy as a very aggressive offensive player.
So, d- I guess it's also like, do you specifically prefer Natex or Paldex? Um,
I think both have
Nowadays.
their merits for sure. I think the problem is Paldex can be a little small sometimes, it feels like. So you got to be working with the right amount of people. Obviously, for a tournament, when you're doing 8 mon, it's fine. But like for a regular league, I prefer Natdex any day of the week. But I play both pretty regularly.
And of the three like off meta formats, do you have any experience with any of those?
I
Which
am
is
actually
Fusion, Rad Red, and Little Cup. I'm sorry to cut you off.
No, you're good. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off either. I just think there's a slight delay. But
Okay.
yeah, I'm actually extremely experienced in Little Cup. I've been doing Little Cup draft for multiple years now. I've had team tour success doing Little Cup. I've had individual tournament success, individual league success. Little Cup is something I'm very well versed in, and I saw that you did a interview with Peachy, and Peachy and I actually did an episode together for his Little Cup podcast. So I'm pretty well versed.
And how about any experience personally with Rad Red or I know Fusions is pretty new, especially here. So any experience with either of those two or no?
I've actually never really touched either. When I played a difficulty hack, I leaned more towards Emerald Kaizo as opposed to Radical Red, so that would be an uncharted territory for me. But I'm always willing to pick it up.
And I you seem very comfortable in VC. I know there's a lot of captains that have been wanting to like they want to be really active in VC, whether it's with prepping, with matches or drafting. Is that something that you're okay with doing if a captain like expects that from you, or not too much?
Yeah, absolutely. So I have no problem speaking in front of people. Actually, growing up, I was on the debate team in high school, did a bunch of tournaments at different universities and stuff like that. So I would say my ability to convey myself spoken in spoken word is usually one of my best assets. I'm normally not the most free for VCs, but if I ever have a down moment, I'm more than willing to hop in for like an hour or so. It just depends on schedule.
And I guess this could also kind of flow into our next question. Like, what do you personally think you bring to a team that might be a little different than like other people, or that you think you'd excel more than other like potential players in the pool?
I think being around for so long and having to interact with such a wide group of people throughout the years, from when I was 14 starting out to all the way now, it's given me a different perspective. And I've been very experienced. I've been around a long time. I'm very active in prep help and I mock a lot. So I just feel like I bring a very unique perspective to the table, and I play a very specific sort of aggressive style that I feel like not a ton of people play in this day and age. So I can definitely bring a unique perspective in mocks through that.
That's pretty cool. And I know we were talking this before the recording officially happened, but like how much better or how much different do you think Discord draft leagues are opposed to Skype draft leagues?
Man, Skype was the Wild West. So my first few drafts back in the day were all on Skype. They were a lawless wasteland. I'm going to be honest, and the infrastructure on Discord so much better. Although I will say, I think the average competition in Skype leagues, at least the ones I were in, might have been a bit higher than the average competition here. But I feel like there's definitely more top end talent here than there was back in the day. I just think it's a lot more accessible to people, so a lot more people are doing it. When back in the day, it was a much smaller community.
Yeah, I mean that is true. Yeah, because you had to be like I want to say like a fiend, like to like look for it specifically.
Or in my case, you just have a conversation with someone big at the time through Showdown, and they recruit you. So that sometimes you just get
Yeah,
lucky.
yeah, it's just. 'Cause I remember the days of like people were just like spam private messaging like big creators trying to get like a battle with them, and it's just crazy times too. I
Oh,
think nowadays,
absolutely.
I think Shodan has like a setting, like a more settings to block like random private messages from people if you were, especially if you're like a bigger creator nowadays.
Yeah, and things are just they're more accessible, like I was saying earlier, so people don't have to resort to that nearly as often as they once did.
Yeah, for sure. And I also wanted to ask you, do you have it? Do you have any history here in SGBL that people might know of, or other leagues
I
potentially?
I actually do not have any experience in SGBL, but as far as draft, I've played in virtually every major team tournament at this point. I was in the inaugural season uh, DPL. I've played in TDT. I've played in Clash of Kings. I've played in all sorts of stuff like that. I'm currently playing in PGP, representing SBL. So I have a ton of team tour experience, even if it's not in SGBL. I actually heard about this server. One of the current captains actually DM'd me the link to the server telling me to sign up. So that's how I ended up here.
So hopefully you have history, future history here, right?
Hey, I mean, hopefully it goes well. I don't see a reason why it shouldn't, unless I completely suck, which there is a chance.
No, there is like a few curses of things of like people that are really good that have like a bad season, but they always bounce back. Not saying that you're gonna have one, of course, but
Oh, I've had those before. I've had team tour seasons where I haven't gotten a single win. It sometimes it just happens. It could be the competition, it could be your drafts, it could just be a number of things, but I don't think one bad performance or one bad tournament kind of defines you as a player. It's how you bounce back from that and how you don't make excuses, you get better.
yeah, because like even like a lot of the best players like in the league specifically, like they've had like bad seasons or a bad run, so I wouldn't be too worried about that.
Yeah, and
We're
I'm
very up in here.
not to toot my own horn, but I've definitely been on a hot streak as of late. I'm currently 5-1 between two team tours and undefeated in an ORAS draft tour currently. So fingers crossed those continue to go.
Hopefully, it keeps on going up and up, right?
Yeah.
And of the three formats that, of the three formats that you have experience with, which one would you say is your preferred one that you would want to play in this tour?
I can play any depending on the given week. In the other major team tour I'm in right now, I have played 3 different gens already. So I can play wherever I'm needed to, depending on the given week. So I don't want captains to think they have to draft me for a specific tier. I'll happily do that if that's what they need, but I can play anywhere they need me to.
Okay, that seems perfect, especially because because sometimes things can happen, and maybe some players would be busy, and you have to like hop in and like draft like a core just like out of nowhere. It's like so having that experience on a team would be very good things. I think.
Yeah, and it also helps me get the most playing time because if I pigeonhole myself to one tier, there might need to bench me a week. But this way, if someone else needs to sit out, I can swoop in.
You know, and Are you familiar with the format that is going to be that's taking place this Team Tour season with the two wildcard spots, or no?
No, I'm not actually.
Okay, so there is five formats, but there will be seven games, and your specific captain, each captain every week is going to choose a game, like a format that they want. So
Okay.
like let's say that your team drafts two amazing like fusion players, then they can say I want to do fusion as the other format, and the
Okay, yeah.
opposing captain will choose like I don't know like PAL decks, and it's like oh, then you guys would play it out like that. So I
I'm
think that will
actually
help even
familiar.
more.
Yeah, I'm actually familiar with that because I actually captained a team tour not long ago with another draft OG and Gregulator called the Counter Format Tournament Tour. Pretty much, you draft for multiple different tiers, and the whole gimmick is each team gets to ban a tier each week. So you draft for multiple different, and then in playoffs you get to ban, and also the better seed gets to choose one tier to double up on.
Oh
So
yeah,
it actually shares a lot of elements.
yeah, it seems pretty cool too.
Hey, it was a good
And
time, and can't argue with the results.
yeah, and I guess this is more like a captain thing, but it is going to be very interesting to see how captains like position themselves to like maybe they have like a good matchup into like both all three of their teams, right? Things could happen, maybe.
Yeah,
And I
absolutely.
it's like,
And
oh
I
man,
think part of the interesting thing is because I have a lot of captain experience too, I bring the leadership to teams. So I can possibly overstep sometimes, but if someone just tells me to chill out, like no harm, no foul, I'm always looking to help out wherever possible. So I do bring a lot of that experience to the table as well.
yeah, I know a lot of captains who do like getting like a third like pseudo captain just to like have someone else like on board, like keeping everything running as smoothly as possible. So those are really good qualities to bring to a team always.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I feel like even in my experience as a captain, there's always somebody that kind of defaults in that third spot, even if unintentionally.
Yeah, for sure. And I just want to say, roughly how many team tours do you think you participated in as either as a captain or as a player?
Over the years, shoot, probably between 15 and 20, maybe more.
Ooh, so if when a team picks you up, hopefully when a team picks you up, they'll get a veteran of not only just draft league in general, but team tours too, right?
Yeah, I've participated in just about every team tour you can mention and most of the major ones at this point. So hopefully I can translate that into benefit for my team if I get picked up.
The competitive draft league questions. Is there like any miscellaneous things you want to like add that are like either your hobbies or things that you just like generally love?
Yeah. So I am a lifelong basketball fan. I play pretty frequently with my friends still when I can. I play in a slow pitch softball league. Um, I love music. I love cooking. Um, I love my girlfriend. There's lots of things I enjoy. I'm a huge Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh TCG collector. I started getting back into collecting Pokemon cards about a year ago, and I've been having a ton of fun since. And yeah, I'm pretty straightforward. Oh, and I also do video game development as a hobby in my spare time.
Oh man, a lot of hobbies, a lot of good stuff. But like more of a follow up question. Who would you say is you're a fan of, like basketball team wise?
I'm a
If you were to,
Philadelphia sports fan in every single sport.
uh,
So my life is primarily pain, but the Eagles have saved me.
uh, that's good to hear. Good to hear for sure.
Unfortunate,
Yeah,
I know.
I know Philly. You know, are you a diehard though? Like you go crazy for everything going on in Philly, or not too much? Because I know they're very passionate over there.
I don't particularly watch hockey.
Hmm?
But I watch baseball, football, basketball. Growing up, I had two pretty famous Philadelphia sports neighbors. Growing up, one of my neighbors was Deshaun Jackson, and another was Doug Peterson back before he was the head coach. So it was kind of forced from a young age.
So you had to be an Eagles fan, basically.
Oh yeah, I live in the Philly area, so there was never any doubt.
But it got reinforced with with Doug Peterson and Deshaun Jackson being so close, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And if you were to choose like a favorite player from like any of the sports that you follow, who would it be? Then, a lot of
Are we
captains
talking all
do,
time or
so
current?
this would be an important question.
Are we ta-
You do one
are
of
we
each,
talking all
right, for
time or
every
current?
sport. I know you.
Okay. So for the Eagles, my current favorite
No,
player
one on one.
is Devontae Smith. Devontae Smith, I love. My favorite all time Eagle though, probably gonna have to go with Deshaun Jackson or Brian Dawkins. It's a close call.
Yeah, I mean, both of them
For this,
of the team, right? As well.
oh, absolutely. And then when we're talking Sixers, my favorite all time player, any sport, Allen Iverson. He was probably my hero growing up. Like my one of my earliest memories ever was when I was about 3 or 4 years old. I actually saw Allen Iverson in person play Michael Jordan in Michael Jordan's last ever game when he was on the Wizards, and the game was in Philly. So I got to see it. And flashes from that game are some of my earliest memories. So Allen Iverson, easy pick.
Oh, yeah, that's really awesome to hear. I know. You know, the
And
youngins
then
listening to that will probably call you, like Unc or something. But yeah, that's really cool.
Boomer, Unk, yeah. Yeah. And
Yeah.
my favorite current though is probably Tyrese Maxey. I've been a big fan of his for a while. It was Gershon Yabusele before he left in free agency, but I'll go with Maxey.
But I mean, apparently, not to devolve too much in the conversation. He was saying that the Sixers didn't want to match his contract, so that's why he had to. Like he felt like the
Yeah, I
trade.
believe it because our front office sucks and they're all a bunch of scumbags.
Yeah, it's like I was on.
My
I was
username.
on. Go ahead, sir.
No, you're good. I think there's just a little bit of a delay. Sorry, it must be
Oh
my
no, no,
internet.
no. I think
Um,
it might be me. So your username? Sorry.
Oh, my username in another server is actually Kill Daryl Morey, and I think it's pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah, actually, I don't know if
But
you read. There's an Embiid article that came out a bit ago. Actually,
I read it. I read it cover to cover.
yeah, I was
Absolutely.
like, dude, this is crazy. I think Daryl Moore should be like arrested for his crimes against like humanity. Like
Well,
honestly,
to be fair, a lot of the early stuff was before Morey.
no, yeah, but like specifically like the James Harden thing,
Oh
like
yeah,
that gets brought up a
absolutely.
ton. Like man, like,
I mean,
like James Harden
the
had
whole
a good
thing with
point.
Embiid's just a very frustrating case because I think as a person, he's actually a very nice person. And it's like hard to separate the player from their personality sometimes because on the court, God, is he frustrating because he's never on the court. But when
Yeah,
he is playing, there's no doubt he's one of the most dominant players we've ever seen. But he can't stay healthy, and it's such a shame. So, like, as much as I like Embiid, and when he's healthy, I'm really all behind him. He's just a very frustrating player to have as your team's best.
yeah, for sure. It's like I don't know. It's like like in Pokemon terms, it would be like I don't know, like a Spectrier almost, right? You go against a bulky normal. It's like you can't really come here. It's like
I think
it
we're
makes that like
talking
one to
even more
one.
like almost like I think we're talking if we're talking Pokemon terms to really dig into my nerdy bag. I would say Embiid is kind of like he's kind of like a glass cannon. So like I think you can equate it to maybe like an Iron Valiant type deal.
Yeah, we're like yeah. It's
Like
just like
very
when he
skilled.
pops he pops off. But there's some weeks that he's like, He's not really
all it takes is
available.
one bullet punch, and then he's on IR. So
Can you imagine though? If there's a draft league where your Pokemon had to sit out for how bad they got murdered. It got it,
oh,
they built like 200% of its HP. It's out for 2 weeks. Like that'd be
dude, that
crazy.
would be brutal.
It's like
It would be a day in the life of a Sixers fan, is what it would be.
yeah. But any baseball love? Okay,
Oh,
the
absolutely.
Phillies.
There's no rhyme or reason behind this. My favorite current player for the past few years has been Edmundo Sosa. I love that guy. He's like one of our utility infielders. I personally think he's good enough to play every day, but I think he's a really good player and he doesn't get a lot of love. So I'm a big fan of his. And when I first started watching baseball again, like 3 years ago now, the very first game I saw, he hit a triple, like the first at bat I watched. So ever since then, he's been my guy.
I thought you were gonna say that your favorite was okay, what's his name? Nick Costellos.
He Nick Castellanos also lives in my town. Fun fact.
Dude, I just love the meme where like anything bad happens in the world or like in the U.S.
And
he
it's a
just
drive in the
goes
deep
a home
left
run.
field by Castellanos.
I forgot. Like pause. Like were just informed like the Queen died. Oh, home run! It's like oh,
Do you know
it's
the
like
origin of that?
actually I don't. I just
So
always saw
that
the meme.
Yeah, so that soundbite, and that's a drive in the deep left field by Castellanos. That actually came. So that was back when he was on the Reds, and the Reds announcer at the time was caught on the microphone using a certain slur for the LGBTQ community, and it was caught on the mic. He was calling a city the blank capital of the world or something like that. And then the next game, he was making an apology, and in the middle of his apology, Nick Castellanos hit a home run. So he literally broke up his own apology to say, and there's a drive in the deep left field by Castellanos. So that's where that all came from.
But I mean, if you see a homer, I think you have to mention it, right? Even if
Oh
you're
yeah,
not
but then
apologizing.
he developed such a reputation of hitting home runs in the wake of tragedies. It became like it was beyond the point of coincidence. It's happened like 10 plus times at this point,
It's
like
like
give or take.
I think if the Phillies want to go all the way, I think they have to make like World War III happen somehow in the playoffs.
Well, I mean, it's gonna happen probably. So, but I won't get into that.
That's why I said specifically in the playoffs, so they can always have consistent offense every game, hopefully from Nick.
Oh, and my favorite Philly of all time, Roy Halladay, easy pick.
Some banger choices from all the sports. I'm just glad that you didn't say Jalen Hurts, because I think in Philly
I
specifically, I think he gets a
Yeah,
little overrated. I think he's still pretty good, but
he's either highly overrated or treated like dirt. It depends on the Philly fan.
yeah, it's like a lot of people say that the Philly the Hurts Super Bowl brought like put the football discussion like back decades. I'm like I wouldn't go that far, but it is pretty bad sometimes.
Hey, all I'm saying is Hurts has outplayed Mahomes in 2 Super Bowls. That's all I'm saying. I'm gonna leave it at that.
Yeah,
I think he is definitely a very good quarterback. I wouldn't put him in the elite category, but he has shown that he is legitimately a playoff riser. He has played well in 2 consecutive runs to the Super Bowl. I think it's hard to ignore that.
yeah, for sure. It's like almost like a Reggie Miller type like player, like like Reggie Miller was like kind of mid in the regular season, but he was great in the playoffs. Like,
I
and
would
that's kind of how
equate
I
him
see
to
him.
kind of like a Clay Thompson, where he's a very good player. He wouldn't be your best player at any point, but if he's like one of your top guys, you're in good shape, if that makes
Yeah,
sense.
yeah, like I think Hurts is like the third most important player most of the time in the offense. It
Oh, I
seems like.
wouldn't go that far. Our most important players are the entire offensive line.
Yeah, well, yeah,
I'm a sucker for the guys in the trenches.
yeah, in both ways, right? 'Cause Philly
Oh,
got some
absolutely.
some dogs,
Our
sadly.
defensive line is also one of the best in the league. So it's hard not to.
But I guess to put it back into Pokemon, if you were a Pokemon, like who do you think you would be? I know we talked. I know you mentioned that Latios your favorite Pokemon, but like, how do you envision yourself? Like, if you're a Pokemon, like, how would you? Like, what Pokemon do you think embodies you the most, specifically?
I think that's a very interesting question because I don't know if I could properly sum myself up like that, but I would say I'm definitely kind of. Oh man, this is tricky. This is actually very tricky.
I know you mentioned earlier that you're really into like the aggressive play style.
Yeah, I typically tend to play very offensively where I try to make reads. So, I would say something that can really relate to that. I mean, again, I think you can relate me to something like, honestly, like an Iron Valiant, where I feel like I have some versatility, but I work best when I'm playing aggressively and trying to end the game as quickly as possible. But I do have the capability to do other things than that if needed. The same way Iron Valiant can run utility sets, it can run physical, it can run special, it can run mixed. It has more than just the straight offensive options, but that's what it's best at.
Yeah. And I mentioned this pre-interview. So like I got to know about you specifically in Sim through Ubers.
Yeah.
Um, like, are you I guess maybe not sad, but like are you okay with Ubers not being like one of the formats, or are you like indifferent about it?
I'm pretty indifferent, I would say. Ubers actually isn't something I play very often. Funny enough, it's just something that typically the way Ubers works is it typically devolves into very aggressive play styles. So it fits the way I play naturally pretty well. So it seems like a natural choice for me to gravitate to when it's available. But if it's not available, I play the majority of tiers anyway.
Yeah, and of the two formats that you're not too well versed in, this would probably be the last question. I don't want to hold you up too long, man.
Oh, you can take your time. I don't got my stuff got pushed back, so I don't got much.
Oh, okay. Um, like, which one are you most interested in? Maybe like learning or picking up a few like tricks in hopefully this team tour.
Rad Red, I think, would probably be the most natural to learn. It would just be getting used to the additional move pools and stats and stuff like that.
This fusions interest you at all, or is it just like, oh, there might be too much going on, like for you
I
personally?
mean, I'm willing to learn anything, but I feel like my skills would probably translate more naturally to Rad Red. But I'm either way. I mean, I think I'm better off sticking to the other three. But if you ever need someone to fill in for a week, I can do whatever as long as I have some help.
Yeah, that's pretty fair. I think both formats. I know, like specifically since it looks a lot like it's very hard, but I think once you like get a few games under, you're like, oh, this is kind of easy to understand.
Yeah, I'm
It's just a
sure it is. I feel like most formats are kind of like that. It's just more so about having the time to learn a format on top of my other like responsibilities.
yeah, for sure. It's just a lot of you know like learning is obviously the hardest part about everything. So I think like a
For
few
sure.
games and you're pretty good. Like I was mentioning this to someone, but like in Red specifically, like every Pokemon can like sweep you. It seems like, or be like really good.
I kind of
Like you
like
can have
that.
like a 2 point love disc, and it's like, oh, I might have to prep really hard for this just in case like they sweep me. It's
I
just things like that, which makes it interesting.
I've tried Rad Red before, like the actual game. I've played through it once, but that was like a long time ago before it was in its current version. So I would definitely need to read up.
Yeah, especially like the thing that obviously won't be like 1-to-1 is like the Sevian forms. Like those are
Right,
crazy.
yeah.
But yeah, like I think like especially like if you do like playing aggressively, I do think Red does gravitate towards that more often than like Nathex or Paldex. Like the game, like every Pokemon has priority. It seems like, and it's just like really fast. And it could be really fun to see, especially maybe a little bit
I
like
feel like Natdex is actually extremely offensive, while Paldex can be a little more balanced. But maybe that's just a me thing.
especially. I know like the lack of choices can like really it can limit you, but it can also like help creativity in a way too. It's like I think Paldex is kind of underrated for most people. I think
I
people
can
need to
see
give it
that.
more.
Like, yeah, I see the pros and cons of both formats. I personally like the higher power level of Natdex, but I can see both having them.
Are you a big fan of megas as well, or not too much
Oh
in
yeah,
draft?
absolutely. Absolutely. I'm a big fan of megas. Um, I feel like they just add a dynamic to the gameplay that can't really be replicated by any modern mechanic. So, and there's enough good ones where you don't feel like if you don't get one of the top 3 or 4, you're screwed. Like you could feel like in some drafts. So I've definitely always been an advocate of if you're running a Nat Dex league, include the megas. They're fun.
Yeah, especially because like there's no other way to see them, right? Unless you're playing like pre Gen 8, right? So Gen 7, Gen 6. It's just
which
like
I which I do, but I still think seeing the way that the meta shifts when you add megas and other cut mons with the new additions, I feel like it adds for a very interesting dynamic. I just find it fun. I understand it's not everybody's cup of tea, but I'm like, if you're going Natdex, go the full Natdex route, you know?
yeah, that's interesting. I never heard of NatDex leagues cutting megas. That's kind of crazy. And that's like the main appeal almost. It's
Yeah.
like you can always just. Because I think what was it? Low Punny got like close combat Gen 8, right? And that changed it up a ton
Oh yeah. And then
in that.
eventually it got play rough and triple axle.
And then like that's a lot cooler than just like not running Mega Lop or even like the change to inner focus, right, with Mega Galay not getting intimidated. And that's
Yup.
also kind of crazy
Or you can look at the
sometimes.
change of even from Gen 6 to 7, the speed change. Like in Gen 6, your speed doesn't change on the Mega till a turn after, where in Gen 7 it changes immediately. I mean, even little stuff like that completely changed the meta because stuff like Mega Diancie, for example, became way more viable. It's just not that it wasn't viable in Gen 6, obviously, it just became more so. But
Yeah, it was just like a lot of like different cool things that can happen just from like the same megas, like a different like environment too. 'Cause, like
exactly.
like I think like Mega Sable, I think Gen 6 like really crazy. Well, like defensively, I think it's a little bit worse in draft, obviously, um, but
Less
it's
fairy types definitely didn't hurt.
yeah, like it's a lot better in like Gen 6 opposed to like even Gen 7. Like with all the tabus and everything introduced, it's just so
Absolutely.
cool. Just so cool to see like the evolution, the differences of like Natdex or like even compared to like the older gens too, especially with
And
Megas.
speaking of Natdex, you get to see Tapu Koko, for example, interact with a Paradox team.
Yeah,
So like that's very very strong. So like you
and
just get new strategies. I feel like the more options, the more people have the opportunity to have access to good mons. I feel like if you raise the power level for everyone, it's more even, but it's also a different experience.
yeah, but I know in Paldex, I've seen a lot of draft analysis. It's like, oh yeah, I couldn't get like a top 3 spinner or defogger, and I had to use like a very like mid tier like a bad Pokemon as my remove. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
ooh, that's rough.
Or
Originally,
or if you don't get one of the top like 10 Terramons, and all of a sudden you feel like you're screwed.
yeah, it's really rough. Originally, the days of Open Terra, oh man, that was Open Terra Paldex was crazy.
I
Or not.
support Open Terra with Terra Preview.
Yeah, I think that's if you're gonna do Open Terra, that's the way. But man,
I
I,
like that personally. I feel like it gives you a lot more flexibility while building and battling, but I feel like the Terra Preview does genuinely balance it a lot.
yeah, and it's always in the back of your mind, and you won't get like too surprised by it.
Exactly. Like still Terra Captains, absolutely, but like let those Terra Captains do whatever they gotta do, in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure. But I think this will be most the end of the interview. Any closing remarks or anything that you want to say to either other players or other captain duos that might be listening to this?
Yeah, if anybody has any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. I've been working hard for the past few years trying to be a more positive presence and work past the reputation I had when I was younger because I got into the draft scene so young. If there's any questions you have for me, I'd be happy to answer. Or if you just want to reach out and talk, ask for help or anything like that, just let me know. And yeah, thank you so much for having me. I really had a good time.
Yeah, thank you for joining. I know pre-recording you were saying that you weren't sure if you wanted to do this, but I think it was a lot of fun, and I think it was a good interview, great interview. We
Yeah,
talked
thank
about
you.
a
I
lot of things.
appreciate that. Yeah, it was
You're a
fun. We
great
got a good diverse talks in there.
yeah you're a great interviewee too. But like that was really
Well,
fun.
thank you. I
It was cool.
appreciate that.
Just
You'll never have a problem getting me to talk. It's getting me to shut up that's the issue.
nah, don't worry. I kind of have the same issue sometimes, but that's what interviews were made for, right? To talk.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I mean, I think that's it for this player interview. Everyone, well, thank you to Brad and thank you to anyone that's listening. And Brad, you can close this off, man. One more time if you would like.
Sounds good, everybody. This is Brett signing off. Make sure you hit like, you leave a comment and subscribe. Comment down below what your favorite thing about me is. All right, thank you.